All right. Hello and welcome back to the Anime Happy Hour podcast. I'm Jonathan and I'm joined here tonight by my two co-hosts. I think I'm going to drop Kirk back down to number 3 because I'm looking at his pale face after he shaved and I'm not a fan of it. So number 2 is Jake.
Shit on Kirky.
And last but certainly not least, we got Kirk.
Hi.
Yeah, in case it's your first time joining us, we are the Anime Happy Hour podcast, where every week we get together, have a drink, discuss the world of anime and what's going on in it. As we casually share our thoughts and opinions on various topics from episode to episode. Before we get started, a few disclaimers. We are an anime podcast, but we're also an adult podcast. So there's going to be occasional swearing. We also discuss recent events and episodes from episodes. So here's your spoiler warning. I'm sure everybody has their own opinion, so just leave it in the comments. We don't really care. If you want to reach out to us, feel free. Any of our social media, you can go onto Facebook and search at Anime Happy Hour Pod 03. You can go to our email. You can send us an email anytime, animehappyhour951@gmail.com. Or you can check out all of our links at anchor.fm/happyanimehour03. As we do every single week, pour up a drink. Let's go around the circle. I know Kirkland's not feeling so hot tonight, so he's kind of got the water bottle out. But, Jake, what do you got poured up? What are you drinking tonight?
I'm doing the Mountain Dew and bourbon again. I didn't really have anything around. I figured might as well.
All right. Can't go wrong with that. That's like my go-to.
Really good,
it's like way too easy to make. I went with a good old Land Shark, you know. Can't go wrong with a Land Shark.
My grandpa drinks Land Shark.
Land Shark's legit. It's like a better Corona. Well, with that, we'll move on to the next. Our week update. So, what's been going on with our queues and what shows we've been watching? Jake, do you want to start us out?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the ones we've been talking about week to week, so I'm not really going to touch on those. I'm sure Kirky will touch on a few of them. What I watched this past week, besides what we were supposed to watch, was The Daily Life of the Immortal King, which is like a Chinese anime that they just got like official subtitles and put it on like Netflix and Funimation. And they're coming out with season 2, so I caught up on the first season again and watched the first 4 episodes of season 2. And to be honest, I still love the show. I mean, with the with the official subtitles, it's still kind of hard to
understand
a little bit. I think that's just with the translation from Chinese, but the animation is phenomenal, and it's just a really cool show about a badass immortal king doing cool shit. Well, it's kind of like the Chinese Psyche K.
It's on my list on Netflix. I scroll past it all the time, but I get caught up watching everything
15
else.
Episodes, guy. Just give it a watch whenever you got some time.
I know. I keep getting caught up watching everything else we got to watch for the show, so I always just pass it.
I think we're 5 episodes deep on it now, Jake.
4.
Might want to double check that. I'm pretty sure the 5th episode came out.
Did it come out today?
No, I think
caught up last night.
I thought it came out yesterday on Funimation. Did you watch the one where they make the spiritual sword?
Yeah, that's 4.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah, I'll have to catch up on that. I finally caught up on Mushoku Tensei.
Yep.
After all the talking you guys did.
Is there a new episode this week already?
No, I think
it drops tomorrow on Sundays, doesn't it? Or maybe not.
I thought it came out on Mondays. I don't know. I haven't watched the one for this week, if one's come out.
I think I checked last night and I didn't see one.
I forget what the update schedule is. I I forget what the update schedules are. I just know that this is a good season for the update schedule being spread out. There's something every day to watch. So
Yeah.
that's kind of cool.
New episode's not up yet, so it could be tomorrow. Or I think it is earlier in the week, so I feel like 18 was the last one. It was Following Roxy.
Okay,
don't know if you've
so I
seen that
haven't
one
seen
yet.
that one. No.
Yep. So that one is pretty much like a Roxy episode, and like everything that's been going on. Well, not even like it's a lot of monologue, just her
Yeah.
talking and like figuring stuff out.
She's still on the demon continent searching for Rudius.
No, she's
yes
not
and
actually,
no.
Well, she's not looking for Rudeus, you find out, but
Yeah. No, yeah. And well, she figures out that he is part of Dead End. Like that him and his group are Dead End.
Yeah, she didn't know when she walked 10 feet away from him
No, I
20
mean
episodes ago.
no.
Well,
Well,
no,
every
because
single time that she kept passing him and
you have
didn't
to
even
remember
like
that the
notice.
Superhead cut his hair and stuff. She was just watching Rujared and Eris fight it out, and she's like, wow, they're strong, and then she dipped.
Yeah, because that's when
Yeah,
he
I
was
know,
out
but
in the city.
She walked literally like 10 steps behind him in one part and just didn't notice him right in front of her.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
I think
yeah,
it was
she
when
met up-
was running from.
Do you remember the horse? The horse guy that was like giving
Yeah.
them shit way back when?
Yeah.
Yeah, like she used to party up with him, like being part of his party. So like there was like a whole 10-minute talk between her and him just in the bar.
Yeah, it was like half the episode.
Yeah. I was like, damn, they kind of dragging this on.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't realize her whole village was made of telepaths.
Me neither. Until that episode.
Yeah.
Well, now that you've kind of ruined it for Jake, but
Whatever, it doesn't really ruin anything. Just don't say anything specific about it, and he's fine.
Watch it be like the single key detail of the entire show.
yeah.
What? That they're all telepaths? Well, you don't know that
Yeah.
yet. I mean, all like.
I mean, I do now.
Yeah, well, you'll see. There's more to it than that, but like I thought, like it just seemed weird to me that they just announced it in that episode, as opposed to
When Rudius was there.
the like 2 or 3 episodes that Rudeus was there. Like they don't make any light of it. I didn't understand that bit, but yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see like the new visual that was like released?
No.
So I think it's in our maybe it's in our news. No, actually it's not. But they like released a visual on like the big bad of like the show.
Mushoku Tensei. Yeah.
Yeah, that we never really saw before. Let me see if I still have it in my. I can send it right over to you guys. But yeah, like I guess it was like because it was the only trailer that because this show doesn't have like an opening, so like they released like an opening trailer for like something, and they also confirmed an OVA for it too. So.
Because we love OVAs.
Oh,
Yeah, for real. Anything else? Oh, dude, I don't know. Has anybody... So, Black Lotus, like Blade Runner,
I haven't
I
watched
started it,
I haven't watched it.
and I'm like...
Is it good?
I thought you said it was ass. That's why I didn't watch it. You said it was ass like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I just started it. Yeah, I don't know. Unless Kirk saw something beforehand, but there's like 2 or 3 episodes in. So it's been out for a little while. But,
Did I said the new movie was eh.
I thought you said the show was bad too, but...
Yeah, I was under the assumption you were talking about the anime.
Did I see that?
Dude, the art style is one of the cringiest...
I didn't like it.
It's very like half and half. Like it's like 3D modeling, but it's also like everything's like glossy.
Mm-hmm.
But also like very stilled, like picture stills at the same time.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
It's like frame by frame too. I'm not
It's
a huge fan of
unfortunate.
it. Like it has its moments. Like the action's okay. Like the fighting scenes are all right. But like I'm not a fan of it at all. And also, The World's Finest Assassin.
Haven't watched
You guys
this
caught up on
week's,
that?
but go ahead.
Kirk,
it's
have you caught up
great.
on it?
I'll let you know in a second if I have. It's been a minute since I watched an episode. I think I'm caught up.
Residence of Girls is the newest one.
Residence of Girls. Oh yes, yep. Okay, yeah. I'm
That?
caught up.
Hold on. Is that the one with like the human trafficking, sex trade?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I have seen that one.
Yeah, that's the one with, where they all get caught in the beginning.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. The first episode was not anything compared to the rest of this show. The rest of the show has just been gas the whole time. The first episode did not give me good hopes for the show, and then it was just great from there on.
Oh, yeah,
The
his
first
old,
episode gave me great hopes for the show because I expected nothing based off the trailer. I was super excited for it, but I thought it was going to be ass.
yeah, the
It's
trailer
just
did not
blown
do
me
anything
away
for me.
since.
I was like, yo, this is going to be kind of whack.
Yeah.
Because I've seen so many shows that, like, try to do the whole magic / gun /
Yeah.
like fighting, and it's like always like too much, and it's not very well animated. And so
Yeah.
like seeing the trailers, it just really didn't do anything for me. But after like the first, dude, it's just picked up. It's like top contention for the season.
Definitely. That and then my other favorite of this season is Fruits of Evolution.
Oh, I haven't
know.
watched the most recent one. I had it pulled up. If you guys were going to take forever to get on, I was going to watch it. But
I hate that it's becoming a harem anime, but it's still good.
I knew it was going to be a harem anime from the first time I saw the opening because it's just him and like 17 different girls. But
Yeah. Well, I mean,
as long as no one comes before Saria, we love our gorilla waifu.
our gorilla waifu, he says. Yeah. I mean, Artoria kind of does. I mean, he never kisses Saria, but he kisses Artoria 3 times in one episode in all of like 30 seconds.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's what Artoria needed. I don't know if Saria needs to like kiss because she's a gorilla, and I don't think that they kiss to show
Whoa.
affection.
I'm just saying, Saria wants to mate with him, so
Yeah, that's different though.
she's a gorilla. She wants strong man. That's Saria's thoughts.
Be interesting if they had a kid and if it came out half gorilla or
Oh
like
gosh,
because
no,
she's in
it's just
human
gonna
form.
be stop.
Full Metal all over again.
Bestiality. I mean, you already know what's going to happen kind of this week from last week's episode. Because remember the end of last week's episode, they're like, oh, we're going to introduce a donkey girl into the fray. And guess what this week's episode was? It's all about donkey girl.
Donkey girl.
Yeah, I gotta get on it. Kirk threw a long show at me for next week's
I'm sorry.
podcast, so I haven't.
I would have thought you guys would have watched it already. It's not that new. It's kind
I've seen the first half, but I stopped watching. I don't remember why, and I haven't seen the first half in like 3 years. So
And it's one of those shows that
Got
has so
stuff
much
from
going
scratch.
on that you need to like
You have to be
be
there for
focused. Yeah, and so like even if I watched it a few years ago, there was no way I was picking back up on it properly. So
it.
yeah.
With regards to psychological thriller anime, I like this is my top one personally.
yeah,
Okay. If we're going cyberpunk psychological thriller based off what I remember from the first half, I would pick Psycho Pass over it. So I'll have to judge the second half. But the reason I watched it and the reason I still have a good opinion of this show, even though I don't really remember what it's about, is the main character. What's her name?
Riel.
Is like prime waifu material.
it hits all the
Vincent.
emo boxes.
Oh yeah.
Our middle school emo phase boxes, you know.
Yeah, exactly. 11.
If she doesn't scream Evanescence, I don't know what does.
Yeah.
Vincent Law is my favorite character, which you'll learn more about as the show goes on. But like towards, I'll be honest, this is another one. Like first season's a lot better than the second are the first half is really slow, and then the second half is where it picks up. Because, you know, I like the slow grind.
Yeah. Well,
but-
there's a teaser for everybody.
Hold on, John.
That's
Oh,
next
Lord.
week.
You heard Kirky say he likes the slow grind.
Yeah.
How many times has he said One Piece is too long? How many times?
Come on now.
You're just full of contradictions now, Kirky.
Dude, my life is a contradiction. But I'm still going to stick by the fact that One Piece is too long. I mean, you can go a whole arc, and it's just one fight. How many episodes have we had now of him inside Kaido's castle? Like,
That's a whole war, dude. It's not just one fight. There's literally hundreds of fights going on.
I don't know. I feel like
When do
Dressrosa
they
took
sleep?
forever.
yeah, Dressrosa was the worst arc, in my opinion.
It took a
it
long
had
time.
some great fights, but it did take forever.
Dressrosa was one of the better arcs. It
But-
does take forever, I'll give you that. But as far as the actual arc is, it's one of the best.
Yeah.
And besides, the reason I think One Piece isn't the GOAT is not because of how long it is. We'll get into that a different day, Jakey. Don't worry.
Yeah. We'll have to cover it all at some point. Maybe do like our ending.
I hold that opinion in so low regard, I don't even need to hear it.
Oh, God. Here we go. We'll have to start a whole new list just for One Piece. I mean, now that it hit, what, this coming
1,000.
week's 1,000, right?
Yep.
So,
There's a whole bunch of, like, theories that we're going to get a new movie teaser at the 1,000th episode because of the visuals that they've been leaking and all that shit. I don't know.
yeah.
We'll see.
Well, I guess, do you guys have any other shows that you want to throw up on the block for the week?
I haven't watched Tacked Up for the last 3 episodes because I think it's bad.
Yeah, I'm back by a few, too.
It just hasn't. It doesn't have my attention. It lost it. I think the last episode I saw was the casino one, and then it was just not as good after that. The show just didn't live up to the hype. Like I wanted it to be a music anime. Like the first episode led me on to think like, oh, he's gonna be fancy like pianist, and he's gonna do cool music things, and she's gonna fight because he makes music and
Yeah,
It's
it's just
just-
following too much of a
bad action anime.
prequel. I think that they teased too much in the beginning on the first episode, and then the fact that they've spent the whole season just doing everything that's built up to that episode. Like, I feel like they're kind of drawing out the backstory a little bit too much. So, I don't think it's lacking the action. The action's alright. Like, they're not doing bad on the action part, but I just feel like as far as like the direction they took the plot, I'm not a huge fan of. So, Jake, you got anything else to put up there?
No, I just really wanted to get some words in about daily life of the immortal king.
All right, word.
That's been really good. I do have one more I'd like to mention. That show being Faraway Paladin. That's
Okay, yeah, I was gonna bring this up. Hold on. Yeah, you go first. Go first, because I'm already salty about this.
It's been pretty okay. It's generic, and I like it, and I'm probably gonna keep watching it. I still watch it every week, but it hasn't done anything. And also, I'll let you talk first, but I have one other show that I want to kind of give kudos to.
All right, let me preface this by saying I don't hate the show. I don't think it's a bad show. But I don't know what everybody's smoking to where everybody I've seen has put this show at a high 7, low 8 on all of their top 10s. Like, in comparison to any other show. And I do not think, like, I don't think it's an 8. I mean, Kirk, you've at least watched it with me.
Yeah.
I don't think it sits that high on the list as far as, like, you know.
No. It's
Everybody's
pretty
talking so much
borderline.
hype about it, and, like, I mean, on Facebook, TikTok, the whole nine, that they're putting it so like in high regards. I don't think it's a bad show in any sense of the word, but I don't think it's that high on the list.
No.
Especially in this season, like.
However,
It's a good watch, but
I'm gonna trigger some people in saying this, but I'm putting it on the same level as Goblin Slayer for me.
I mean, it's not like
it's a super generic anime, fantasy anime, where it's like, oh, I kill monsters, oh, there's robbers, oh, I can use magic and I'm a little bit overpowered. I mean, Goblin Slayer couldn't use magic, and he wasn't necessarily overpowered, but he still murdered goblins and stuff very generically, and he was the strongest slayer there was, and that's kind of how far away Paladin feels.
Kirky, Goblin Slayer is the farthest thing from generic.
So,
But
dude,
it's
I
your
mean,
opinion, so I'll let you have it.
my big gripe about this is I feel like they tease you so much on the levels of like it could be like up there, top tier, like cool, but like I feel like some of the action just like falls short, like somewhat lazy animation with it. Like the enemies, other than like the big bads, the regular enemies are like the 3D model, like crappy enemies.
Well, even then, there hasn't been a real fight yet either. I mean, there hasn't been any instance of him being in like a 1 or 2 minute fight scene. It's all been like, here's one sword slash, here's one stab.
It's
like,
nothing like crazy. Like it doesn't really do anything eccentric for me. Like it doesn't pop for me the way that like I hope it would. I haven't watched the newest episode, the Archer one, but
yeah, it's okay. It's not bad. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah, your last show, Kirk.
Yeah, you know what show's actually surprising me, and I think it's definitely ramped up, and it's getting better and better as the episodes go on. They're building a lot more mystery and kind of just like, ooh, what are we going to do about this? Is Platinum End. Platinum End has gotten very good and very, I wouldn't say very complex, but it's gotten... It's not predictable, which I like. When I'm watching a psychological thriller kind of Death Note style anime, I don't want to know what's going to happen next. I don't want to be like, oh, well, this is dumb. Of course they're going to do this. Like, I don't want to be whimsically, like, led on to think like, oh, look at this, we're going to make you feel like you're smart because you can guess what's going to happen. I genuinely don't want to know what's going to happen. I want somebody to connect the dots later on. I'll be like, wow, I didn't see that happening.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. And they're getting to that point, which I like. And they've been very gradual and kind of sly about it, and it's...
Yeah, I definitely sat on the end of, like, I didn't know how I was going to feel about this. Like,
Have you watched the newest episode?
I've not. But it's like you said, though, I mean, even from watching the first episode and even the trailer, like, this is one of those shows that was put on everybody's list as, like, gonna be, like, that top tier, like, newer one. That and Tech Top. But... And even after that first episode, like we talked about that first week it came out, and I didn't have high hopes for it, but
no,
it's slowly but surely picking up. It's getting there.
I think it's getting. I think it gets better with time. I think they're doing a lot to build it up, and I'm waiting for them to play Jenga with it and knock the tower over.
Yeah.
Because now there's. Have you seen the newest episode? You said no, right?
No.
I'll give you an idea though, but they introduce the fact that the god candidates can give their angel abilities to regular humans and can still control those humans while they have the angel abilities and stuff. And there's some new characters in what's the word I'm looking for? There's some new characters introduced into the anime that. It's like, why is this person here? Like, why did they do that? Like, I can't think of a reason, and there's nothing, like, oh, this is to draw attention away. Oh, let's do this, let's do that. I genuinely don't know. Like, it could be anything right now, and that's what I want from it. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it goes. Well, I mean, I guess with that, we'll just kind of glide right into our news. There was a ton of news that's kind of gone on, and I want to start off by apologizing that, I mean, we've kind of had a sporadic schedule. Everybody's kind of regular day-to-day schedules took a 180. So,
Yeah.
finding time to record's been kind of a bitch, but we're still getting her done. Gonna keep you guys, posted, and make sure to check out our social media for all the updates and stuff. But with that, the first is the new Seven Deadly Sins movie got announced. It's focusing on Meliodas and Elizabeth's son. And I don't know if you've seen the trailer for this or like the teaser trailer. It is far from anything I ever want to watch.
Which one?
I stopped watching after the season 2 quotes.
Which one?
The new Seven Deadly Sins movie, like trailer.
I'm gonna watch it because I really, really liked Seven Deadly Sins at first.
They switched the whole animation. It's not even in the same animation studio.
No, I know.
It looks
It's not
terrible.
It's not the first time that they've done that either.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's just how it usually is when it goes into movies. Like a new studio ends up taking it over, but it just doesn't even look appealing to me. I mean, I'm obviously gonna watch it, but like,
Yeah.
research purposes only, so I can talk shit about it when it comes out.
Yep. Same here. There was talk of a live-action Seven Deadly Sins too, which done well would be sweet, but we all know it's not going to be done well.
Oh,
Yeah, the probability of it being done well is very, very low.
yep. And as you guys know, the next story, my favorite, Bleach final arc, finally got some more details, and it's gonna. New info is getting released on the 18th, as far as when the initial release is going to be, maybe potentially a movie, an OVA, whatever. But we're finally getting new info towards the final arc. That's coming out in December. And it also got announced that the new arc is not going to be censored in any way. So, I mean, I think that
Yeah, meaning what?
it's going to just be more raw, gory, raw, like, same with, like, that the females in that show are always popping. But, yeah, it's definitely going to be, like, more adult-themed, because that's how the last arc was in the manga. It was very, like, dark, and so they're not censoring it in the fact that the way that they did the first batch of it, at least. Which I'm excited for. I'm glad that they're kind of like following their roots as far as the manga is concerned towards the last season. So
Yeah, I'm excited for more Bleach. I just hope they keep the same, I don't know if it's necessarily an OST, but I think Bleach has one of the best, like, soundtracks
yeah. Oh yeah.
in the anime.
Consistently, yes. Well, and then next on the list, Attack on Titan and Call of Duty crossover is potentially coming soon. Jake, you're a big
Yeah,
Call of
so-
Duty fiend.
All I know, I don't know if it's been confirmed. All I know is that through the game files of Vanguard,
It's popped
some-
up. Yeah.
some of those guys data mined out of there a operator named Titan, a new sword for melee weapon, and next to the Titan and the sword it says AOT.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of theories that it's an Attack on Titan event, like we had the Rambo and Die Hard events, or the Scream. And it might kind of be like Scream, because I'm pretty sure there's a new Scream movie coming out. So they had Ghostface Operator to promote the movie.
Yeah.
So with the end of season 4 coming out, the end of the show, I'm assuming that's why they'll have
Yeah, they'll
Attack
bring
on
it in on
Titan
early
operator.
season 1 when it drops in December and everything.
Yeah, to kind of promote the season 4 part 2 of Attack on Titan, which I'm hyped. I hope this opens up the possibility of more crossovers with anime and.
Well, yeah, I mean, we had
games
talked
like
about
that.
it. We had talked about it too
Yeah.
a while back. I mean, because with the whole anime packs that were in MW and like Warzone and everything, and how they were kind of scamming off some pictures from other anime,
Yeah.
and the potential of maybe partnering with anime companies or whatever. So it'd be cool to see if they actually end up doing it. And I think Attack on Titan's a good one for Vanguard too, being a little bit more gritty.
Yeah.
The art style definitely falls in the line of like a Attack on Titan type feel. So
Yeah, definitely.
next on the list, we got Bungo Stray Dogs season 4 announced. I don't know. You never watched this, Jake, right?
No.
Kirk, did you?
Bungo Stray Dogs, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I loved the first 3 seasons. I mean, I loved everything, a lot of it. When it first came out, I was watching that week to week.
3 ended with Moby Dick, right?
Yeah, up on the plane. Or that
Yeah.
little
Airship.
Zeppelin, yeah.
Yes.
Yep. I don't know where they're going with season 4 and who they're following, but I'm excited that we're actually getting a season 4. Because, I mean, they had teased the live action a few weeks back when we had talked about it, so I thought that's all we were going to get, but seeing that we're getting a season 4,
There's
kinda hyped
too
me.
many abilities. I can't see that being a good live action, but that's just me.
no, me neither. I mean, I don't know
It's
who
just-
or what it's
there's
following.
There's
But-
such a broad range of abilities and stuff, I just can't see it being done well. However, one that I could have seen being done well is Death Note, because there's hardly any abilities, but they still butchered that. So,
I mean,
Coming
true.
out with a new one,
A new Death
New
Note
what?
live action?
a new Death Note, which
Live
apparently, yeah, Netflix says is gonna be more faithful and make the anime viewers more happy or whatever. They're trying. They're essentially saying everyone who hated the first one's gonna like the second one.
Yeah, well, they're saying
So-
they're hyping up Cowboy Bebop too, but everybody who's seen seen it already, I mean, all the critic reviews are terrible of it.
Really?
Yeah, they said
That
that like if
sucks.
you actually
I
watch
was
if you actually
actually-
like the anime, then because it doesn't actually stay faithful to it the way that we thought it was gonna.
I want to loop in the third live action, but that it's probably going to be the same thing, that it's just going to be bad.
Lupin the Third could be all right,
Yeah, but Death Note could be alright. I
but
have
Lupin
yet
the
to
Third
see
doesn't
it-
have abilities or anything. Like it's very much grounded in its roots. I mean, like there's some like dramatic fights, but other than that, like there's nothing that really like sticks out as far as like abilities or like that a lot of the other shows do.
Mhm.
And it's like very comedy-esque to an extent at some points, but it can be serious too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if either of you have seen this, but Inspector.
I saw like the first
Yeah.
half of the first season and it was pretty good.
I
just
really
didn't keep
liked-
watching.
In Inspector was really good. I really liked it. It was crazy finding out like mid-season like all the abilities that guy had.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, we're finally getting a second season coming out in 2022, so that would be a good one to watch for. Probably spring season. But I guess with that, that's all our news for the week. We'll dive right into our main topic that we do every single week. Give some structure. That being said, this segment is called Top Tier or Steer Clear. Every week we bring a new show to the table, typically a show that's come to completion. So we're not trying to cover shows that are currently running or not concluded just yet. With each show, we're going to be given an individual score between 1 and 10, rated in 3 categories. Then we're going to average them out for a final score of each, based on how good we think of the show is as a whole. 10 being the best, quote-unquote, top tier, which is a must-watch, or a 1 being a steer clear. We all have our own opinions. We're kind of going to dive into them a little bit as we go along. We're going to post up the final scores and everything on the list with all the previous episodes on the Facebook. After that's completed, this week we got Classroom of the Elite. It was Jake's pick. Let me pull it up here. At first, dude, when you told me to, I thought that there was already a second season, or there was going to be a second season. So I was like, I didn't think it was completed yet.
They released something.
The manga.
I think. Yeah. So the show isn't getting a second season. The manga is. And apparently the manga is trash. Doesn't follow the story at all.
Yeah.
So I honestly... I'll talk about it later. Keep going.
No, yeah, no, I that's what I thought too, because I had saw something on the manga, but it ran for 12 episodes, one season. Like we said, the manga might be continuing potentially in the future. Classroom of the Elite follows. I'm terrible with the names, especially when it comes to our show or this show.
Koji.
Yeah. Koji, he's our protagonist, and he transfers into a high school with a very high entrance requirements. The students are paid monthly points that act as a currency, and with these points they can buy everything they use or need, including food. In addition to individual points, classroom points are awarded, pitting 4 classes against each other in a competition. The competition is because classes change their rank between A, B, C, or D by earning more points than the other class. And the story follows Class D in kind of their journey through trying to get up into a higher tier class. I guess we'll start with Jake, seeing how it is your show, on your kind of initial thoughts on how you felt about the show.
Well, I love this show from the first time I watched it and every time since then. It's something that looked interesting and I had in my queue for a long time, but I never really watched it because I felt it could be terrible.
That was in my boat.
Yeah. And then I finally sat down and watched it. You can watch the whole thing through in one sitting. It's real short. And it was like the whole time it just like grasped my attention. And
Really?
Oh yeah. And
I feel like me and Kirk might be in a different boat here.
That's fine. From the get-go, I was locked in. Oh, I'll tell you why I started watching, because I was looking for, like, you know, like on YouTube, like anime with OP main characters. And Koji showed up, and it was a scene of him grabbing the school president's wrist when he was about to hit Horikita. I was like, he looks like a badass. This show's in my queue. I'm going to watch it. And I was locked in the whole time. Really enjoyed it. The only thing that sucks is it only has one season, and it's probably never going to get a second season. So I might have to just switch over to the light novels and read those, because I really need to know what happens.
Manga is one thing. You're going to read a light novel? Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, I did it for Ari Ferretta, too. I know you're into that. I know how it ends, buddy.
Don't tell me.
Well,
Ari Ferretta, we're getting more. Anyways.
Yeah.
I mean,
let me put it this way.
You go first, I guess.
Remember earlier how I was saying I don't like it when it's like, we're going to try to make you feel smart? This definitely had a lot of shit in it where it's like, hey, look, we're going to make you feel like you're smart because we're going to do this stuff and we're going to make it blatantly obvious what's actually happening, but we're going to make you the detective and you're going to solve it before we actually say what it is, like with the cameras and stuff. And there's a bunch of those instances. The only time that there was something that happened that I was like kind of aware of, I knew it was something odd, I wasn't exactly sure, was the island arc where I think it was Class C or B that
C.
that looked like they were all off the island, I kind of had an idea that like somebody was still on the island, and it was weird that there was people from Class C in all the camps. And I was like, there's something weird happening here with Class C. They're not all off the island. Like, there's something happening. I wasn't sure what it was. But the island arc was the only time that I was kind of a little bit in the dark on what was happening. And that was my favorite part of the whole show, was the island arc.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was a bad show. I think it had some good points and stuff. It's just that's one thing I don't like, is when they make things blatantly obvious. Like, when they showed the cameras, it was like, oh yeah, they just planted those cameras there. And then they go, ha, we planted those cameras there, and you confessed like an idiot. And it's like, yeah, I knew that was what you did. Thanks. Okay, moving on.
All right. Let me put it this way. I don't think it's a terrible show. That being said, I feel like they tried doing too much with the first season with everything that they did. They started too many like intertwining plot points that never, I mean, I know that they were probably planning on doing a second season, but they just teased way too many different plot points from a lot of different angles that were never going to really, I mean, I never read the light novel, so I don't know if it follows even the same plot points as the anime. But
well, like, the two biggest ones that doesn't close are the, like, what's the deal with Horikita's family, and then what's the deal with Iona Koji coming from, like, some lab or research facility, and, like, who's the person forcing them to get Class D to Class A? Like, I just, those two things bothered me.
Well, I just think that's, you know, in it only being one season and not getting another season. That's one of the main reasons I want to read the light novel, because those two storylines and characters really interested me, and I really want to know what happens.
yeah, but at the same time, you also got to think that there's, I mean, I put it on the same level as this. Like, Dead Man Wonderland got its single season. They got, and I think they're probably in the same boat as what this is going to be. They're just not going to get the funding or any way to push it forward into the future season. There's a potential for a second season. But I feel like you could have easily expanded upon the plot points that they set in that first half before the beach day trip. And you could have taken the whole second half of the season and properly, like, backed those points. Yeah. Because Kirk likes the second half with the island. I honestly didn't at all. Like, I thought the first half was probably my favorite half, like actually following them at school and like everything going on at school and the teacher and I mean like, or Kushida, like what's good with her, like her mental,
yeah,
like that was a plot point and a half, like just throwing me for a curveball when she decided to become a schizo, but then sits there and plays nice with everybody. And they kind of touch upon it every once in a while, like a little bit here or there, but...
Can I talk about one part of that? She's like, your fingerprints and DNA are on my clothes. That's going to last all, like, 30 seconds. Like, what? Yeah? And
my favorite part is the fact that he doesn't even, like, react. He's just like, oh, okay.
And like, also, like, you can't get fingerprints on clothing. Like, what?
It's anime, Kirk. If we were going to nitpick everything. But I don't know. I feel like that they could have just, like, they set the precedent perfectly in the first half. The first 6 episodes. 5 or 6 episodes. I don't remember which one the beach one was. But they set it perfectly, and then they kind of just said, fuck that, we're going to go do something different.
I wanted that situation with her to spiral out of control, but that's just me.
And... what's with that beach episode? It's like an OVA that should have been just a completely separate episode.
What do you mean?
There was no actual real plot point to that whole episode.
What beach episode?
The summer vacation one, the first one they did, the pool beach one, where they did the volleyball Where
Oh,
they
that
did,
one was so dumb.
when they did the volleyball and the guys were trying to get into putting cameras into the women's locker
That was
room.
the fan service episode.
It wasn't even fan service. It was literally just them trying to get into the women's locker room.
To take pictures.
That's an
of women in
OVA.
bikinis.
That's literally an OVA episode right there. There's no need. Like, see, that's the point too, though. Like, they try to fill the gap in the show with that episode like that, when really they should just expand upon the shit that they were doing right the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't know. That being said, I mean, I'm not saying it's a terrible show, but I feel like it pissed me off more than anything. Like, especially because I was so into it that first five or six episodes. Like, I was locked in. I was like, damn, this is actually a really good show. And then when they started with that OVA-ish episode and then moved it to the beach, I was just like, well, where are we going with this? I don't know.
Yeah. It's just one of those things I think we could all benefit from a second season, but unfortunately life doesn't work the way you want it to.
Nope. And you're right, though, Jake. It was on my queue forever to, like, actually watch and never actually got accomplished until as of late. So glad you brought it up to where it can. You guys should just start bringing up shows that I have in my queue that I never watch.
Send me your queue.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you all 3 apps. Well, I mean, I guess we'll start with you, though, Jake. What do we got as a plot?
For the plot, I got a 7.5.
Okay.
I found the school system really enjoyable. I really liked the scheming. I don't think the point of it, Kirky, was to make you the detective. I think it was just to show what Ayana Koji is capable of in the limited time that we got.
Mm-hmm.
The only downside being obviously 12 episodes. I want to know what happens. I want to know where it goes from there. I want to know if they ever become Class A. I want to know.
Yeah, I felt like there was going to be a little bit more progress in that 12 episodes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, with me personally, I give it a flat 6. And that's just because of Anya Koji's attitude
Yeah.
towards the whole show. I really couldn't give it very much higher than that, solely based on the fact that, like, you know, I'm looking at it in the sense of like a Dead Man Wonderland type thing, to where we never really got our conclusion, and I can't give it too much of a rounded off score. Kirk, what do we got from you?
This is what plot?
Plot.
I liked the plot thus far. I like underdog anime where people are trying to come up, and I think that this one did a pretty good job of like making Class D the rejects and stuff. I'm gonna give this one like an 8 for plot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was good.
Okay.
That's what I like to hear.
Coming out of right field with that one. Well, I guess we'll loop
I'll
right
make
back.
up for it.
I was gonna say we'll loop right back into that for you, Kirk. How do we feel about the characters?
See, even the characters weren't that bad. Cause like Ayana Koji, my favorite character was the schizo there, Kurosawa.
Kushida.
No.
Is that who it is?
No.
No.
Are you talking the redhead?
What's her name?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah, Kushida. Are you talking about the? Are you talking about like that?
The one that was gonna accuse him of all the stuff.
Oh yeah, Kushida. I thought you were talking
Yeah,
about
her.
Kojo.
No. Oh no. I meant, yeah, Kushida. But she was one of my favorite characters. But they had a lot of very dynamic character development. Her especially. I mean, like, she was my favorite character just because of the schizo part of her. Like, you never knew when she was gonna be normal or psycho, and the psycho her was the real her, which was kind of interesting. Characters. 6.5.
6.5 from Kirk. All right, Jake. How do you feel?
I give characters an 8.5. I will say a lot of the side characters are pretty generic. But just based on Ayanokoji, Horikita, and Kushida, I have to give it a high score because they are some of the most interesting characters in my recent memory. It's like what we were talking about earlier. The whole thing is basically their character arcs would benefit greatly from more story. Just because, what the fuck's going on with Kushida? What's going on with Ayanokoji's, like, how was he brought up in that lab, right? And Horikita's family, like you were talking about, John. I just found them super interesting and versatile characters that I need to know more about.
Yeah. I mean, like, I feel like their development was, like, slowly but surely getting there. And I feel like on Nikoji's, his, like, my favorite thing is, like, the fact that he, like, plays nice with everybody to an extent at this point. And he, as they're talking at the end of the show, he literally is looking her dead in the face and he's like, none of you realize the fact that I don't give a shit about any of you. I'm using every single one of you.
That was the last line of the
whole show.
I never once thought of you as an ally.
Yeah.
Just a tool.
Yeah.
Yep. Like, I like the characters. The main few. Like, obviously.
Yeah.
The only gripe I have is this one show that, like, for some reason, I watched it twice. For some reason, I still cannot, for the life of me, like, remember names properly for the show. Like, nothing really stuck with me, like, that I can, like, really just, I could watch a show a few times and, like, remember the names of characters properly. I mean, like, the main, like, one or two, but, and none of them really, like, their personalities I could remember because of one specific thing that stuck out, but, like, nobody really stuck out to me to where I was like, all right, yeah, this is, I love this guy, whatever. In other shows that I feel like I liked, but I mean, I gave it a 6, flat 6, because I feel like they started to move towards their own character developments and arcs, and you can slowly start to see it, but we're not really gonna get that to an extent.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be a lot higher if I, got a little backstory to each one of them, or a little bit more of a description or whatever it may be, drawn out version of each of them. But maybe I will read the light novel with you, Jake, see if it does anything for me.
John, do you know
apparently the light novel is much better because the whole thing is like
Sabrina read me a bedtime story.
Inner thoughts of Ayanokoji.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how, like, closely it follows along or doesn't follow along, or if it's even relatively close to the same plot line. But
I think the anime, it cuts some stuff out, but it follows the light novel pretty accurately. Apparently the manga is just its own fucking thing, and people who like the show or the light novel hate the manga.
Yeah. I started going to Barnes & Noble and picking up, like, physical copies of stuff.
Yeah.
So I might have to see if they have it and just start her over or whatever.
Yeah.
With that, last but not least, animation. Jake?
I gave it a 6.5. There's nothing spectacular about it. It's not like great animation, but it's smooth and it fits the show. So I'd give it above average because it does its job really well, but it's nothing special.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of gave flat 6s across the board tonight for this. I mean, I feel the same way. Like, it doesn't do anything, like, crazy, but it's also a show that doesn't really require anything to go, like, above and beyond. But they're also not lazy about their animation either.
Yeah.
Like, the few scenes that have, like, the fights or, like, have specific details, a lot of other shows go into, like, 3D imaging and, like, lazy animation when they don't want to do too much on certain things, and they do it right in the show and kind of just follow it all the way through. Kirk, you got a wacky grin on your face right now. I don't know where you're going to take this, but
Yeah, I'm giving it a 4 for animation.
4. Okay.
I see. I disagrgue. I think there was a lot of times that they were lazy because there was a lot of still shots where they just like panned the image and stuff, and there was a lot of just monologue-y type of. There's a lot of still images, and there wasn't a lot of like. I mean, there was a lot of moving shots, but there was at the same time still a very large proportion of still images that were just panned to give the illusion of movement and stuff. I also didn't think that there was no like. I can't think aside from the island. There wasn't really any scenes that were very memorable. Like I don't really remember what the school looks like or any of that stuff.
I remember it being very like bland, like the whole class. Yeah, the whole classroom was just like very gray, and I think that was the way that it was meant to be in the show. Like they made it like there was no like there's no pictures on the wall. There's no anything.
I guess regardless, it's just it was boring.
Yeah, and I mean,
and not the show. I think the show was good. I just think the animation was very bland and boring, and that was the hardest part of getting through it for me was the animation because I thought the plot was there. I thought the characters were very interesting. The animation just killed me on this.
Yeah, and I feel like this show you can at least somewhat get away with stills and stuff like that because I mean it isn't like a crazy action anime or like where everybody's always moving or whatever. There is those dialogue moments where you can kind of get away with being a little lazy with it, but still following through. I don't know. I don't have too many gripes about it. I still enjoyed it, the parts that we did watch and the whole show. And after totaling everything together, it came out to 6.6. So I don't even think it's around the lowest, but still up there on the higher second half of the graph at least. But I guess we'll end that and go right into our weekly draft. Jake kind of called me out. I kind of realized it after the fact. We posted up the draft, but I kind of changed the emoji in which the voting kind of came through, and I put my name as the like symbol, which happened. Hey, I did it I noticed it after, but I also didn't go back and change it, so that's also on me. So I will
just take your win and let's get.
I was gonna take my L. I was gonna accept my L if you want it and just pass it along to the second highest.
Do we have a second highest?
Yeah, it was you, Jake.
Oh, well then pass that shit on.
Kirk. All right, that's fine. Let's go with that. But we'll start us off here. Each week we're gonna do it. I mean, we're gonna. Last week or last episode we did famous or most recognizable monsters. Kind of followed along the Halloween theme. Still gonna personally take a W on this. I felt like my list was the best, but
I don't know about that.
Each week we're gonna do a draft. We're gonna pick teams based on our own opinions. We're gonna go back and forth choosing. At the end of each episode, we're gonna post them up. You guys can vote on the corresponding emoji for each of us. I'll change the emoji this time. Maybe. This week, our teams are going to be comprised of our anime villains, top anime villains of all time. So any villain can be chosen from any show. You can choose multiple villains from the same show if you want. But however, once that villain's chosen, it can't be picked by either of the other two. I guess we'll start right off with you, Kirk.
Oh, I'm going.
Oh, hold on.
No, I was kidding. I was kidding, Jake. He got a little excited there. Sorry.
Don't turn that smile upside down yet, Kirky. Seeing as how you have still are the only one who still hasn't won a draft, where do you want to be put?
Yeah. Want 1, 2, or 3?
I want 3.
You want 3? All right.
All right.
I'll take 3.
Jake, what you
get
taking?
3. John obviously gets 2, and I'll take 1.
All right. Jake, what do you got number 1 on your list?
Madara Uchiha Naruto.
Okay. Kind of going for the fan service there. You know that certain people are going to choose.
I got a list of people you guys probably aren't going to choose, so I had to choose the one that you guys would first.
Yeah, the one that Dan's going to recognize.
Yeah, exactly. Get that vote locked in.
All right. Well, I mean, I guess with that, I think you guys know where I'm going to go with this one. But Aizen from Bleach.
Yeah.
Big surprise there.
Bro, come on. He's on like everybody's list. It's got to be. It's like, no. Yeah. Come on.
Right, I'll give
Come
you that.
on.
He is a good villain. Like he might have
That first reveal when you realize that he is the bad guy. Come on now.
Yeah. All right. Am I up?
Yep.
Yeah.
We're gonna take first. We're gonna take Frieza from Dragon Ball Z,
All right. That's a good one.
and I guess towards the end he kind of is, but my number 2. I'll let you guys decide if he's a villain. I'm taking Light Yagami from Death Note. He's a villain, right?
I'll have to say he is, because that's who I was going to pick next.
Oh, okay.
All
So
right.
yeah, I'm taking Light and Frieza.
All right, that's not a bad choice. All right, Jake, I'm gonna leave this one up to you because I know that this is like one of your favorite shows, and it's come up on a few lists. Rachel from Tower of
You
God.
son of a bitch.
She's a villain?
From where we left off.
Yeah, I guess kind of, yeah.
Well, that's why I was gonna leave it up to you guys on whether you would consider her.
She's a villain.
I mean, she just pushed him right into the abyss. She said, yeet!
Used and abused my mans
She was
For
plotting
so
the
long.
entire time.
for used
From
and
episode
abused.
1, the bitch was plotting.
And you know, just brutal. It's depressing. All right, Jake, you're up.
You two
Get two.
literally, like, I was going to pick Light next. Kirky picked Light. Then I was going to pick Rachel. John picked Rachel. Should have been more smart about my first pick. Next, I'm going to go with Muzan from Demon Slayer.
Okay.
And then Shogo Makishima from Psycho Pass.
All right. Psychopaths. That's a good one. I didn't even think to put him on the list. So, where do I want to go with this one? Do I want to take it into a One Piece direction? Actually, I know you guys aren't going to pick him, but I'm going to do it
surprised
anyways.
Jake didn't just go with every One Piece warlord.
Well, the warlords aren't all villains, Kirky.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Jesus
right. Okay.
Christ.
I know
Law is a
nobody's really
warlord,
going to
for
know what I'm
God's
talking
sake.
about here.
Yeah, you're right.
But I'm going to go with N from Dorohedoro.
Oh, the Netflix anime with the crocodile guy?
Yeah. Just because that show is wild.
I watched the first episode a few times and just never continued.
Yeah, once you see like the bads and like that whole group, it's kind of wild. The whole fight scene at the end and shit.
Yeah.
All right, Kirk.
Oh, I gotta pick 2 more, right? Let's go with All for One from My Hero Academia.
All right. That's a good one.
And, oh, I wasn't ready for this, honestly. Let's go with Cardophilius from Ancient Magus Bride.
Okay.
Severely underused.
Yep.
Okay. Jake, I think you'll probably appreciate this one. Walter from Hellsing Ultimate.
Okay.
That plot twist kind of threw me for a loop.
Don't worry.
I already know my
guys.
list ain't gonna make it this week.
You
I got-
guys aren't picking my last one, but my last one is devious. It is absolutely satanic, awful, horrible. But anyways, keep going.
I know my list ain't making it through the week, but I feel confident in my picks, so I'm all right with it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of going in
You're
a
not
different
picking for
direction.
votes right now. You're just picking for what you
For-
think.
Yeah. Jake, you get 2.
I'm not going to pick this character, but I want to mention her at least once. Because my ultimate waifu is Death from Akame ga Kill.
True.
Yep.
True.
I'm not going to pick her, but man, is she crazy.
Yep.
Anyways, with number 4, I'm going to go with Dio Brando.
All right. Saw that one.
Jojo.
From JoJo's? Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's Dio, man.
Deal.
And the last one,
Yep.
you guys probably will not know, and I doubt anyone listening to this, if you do know it, you're cool by me. Johann Liebert from Monster.
I did see
I don't
that
know it.
actually.
That's one of the old ones. He is the psychopath of psychopaths.
Okay. Where do I want to go with this? Griffith was up there.
Yeah.
I think I'm kind of gonna go along the lines. Let's go with Zeke Yeager from Attack on Titan.
Okay.
Yep.
That's, I'm assuming, under the assumption that Eren is not a villain.
Well, I mean, do you want to get into that right now?
Because Zeke tries to stop Eren, so technically he could be a hero.
You guys ready?
Well,
for
it depends on which way you're looking at it. From what
Is
side of
it-
the fence you're
is
looking
it-
at it.
Is it my final pick now?
Yeah.
You guys ready for the ultimate villain?
It better live up to the expectations.
Yeah,
that
you're
you
hyping
brought
it up
upon
right now.
us.
I'm just gonna bring up one quote. You ready? Edward Show Tucker from Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, he was number 1 on my list, but I decided not to pick him.
Yeah, I'm surprised it made it to the last pick.
Yeah.
Dude, he's so he's the worst villain in all of anime. I don't
He's
care,
not the
hands
worst
down.
villain. He's the
He's
worst,
the worst person.
Yes. All right, that's fair. He's not. Maybe he's not very villain-esque, but I just hate him so much. He's the worst bad guy, like worst, shittiest person in all of anime.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucked up.
Not only did he take his daughter for his test subject, like whatever about the daughter, he took his dog. Man doesn't take his best friend and turn it into a test subject.
Screw the
Exactly.
daughter. You don't do your dog like that. Come on now.
Instead, he took
I mean,
his daughter
honestly.
and his dog and made a homunculus with him.
Well, you think he was trying to go for 2 for 1.
Yeah.
Well, at the very least, he did, percentage-wise, give it more to the dog.
True.
Great.
I guess if you had to look at it in that sense. Well, I guess we're going to lead right out with that one into our outro for the week. That concludes episode 10. Finally hit the double-digit point here for the Anime Happy Hour podcast. Feel free to reach out to us anytime, questions, concerns, suggestions. We're always looking for input. I mean, we did hit episode 10, but we are still somewhat new to it. So, getting better as weeks go on. So feel free to contact us anytime via Facebook. Just search in the Anime Happy Hour podcast. Or go ahead and email us at animehappyhour951@gmail.com. check out our Anchor page. It's got links to all of the places you can listen to it or into all the social media at anchor.fm/happyanimehour03. And I'm still waiting for my confirmation code from YouTube to potentially be putting up a live stream. So hopefully that's coming soon if they get their stuff together. But with that, we are going to be signing off for this week, and hopefully we'll be back to a normal schedule by next week. So I think that's it. Good night, boys.
See ya.
Bye.